Alright, what's going on, buds? Try Hard Casual here. On today's episode of Konar Slayer, we have an old classic. We're doing some blue dragons in the Taverley dungeon. Now there's actually a lot to go over on this one, so let's hop into it right away. Alright, so when you're talking about blue dragons, you can go with either melee or range as your combat style. Either way is completely viable. I'm gonna go with range just for the throwback, just for the nostalgia of being back there. There are also a lot of safe spots down there, which I'll show later in the video. If we look at our gear options, there's only a few things I really want to mention. Also, if you do feel like going with melee, I wouldn't recommend it unless you at least have a Zamorak and Hasta. Range will probably be better if you don't have that. Lastly, you might notice that I don't have any Dragonfire protection in my shield slot for using range. Because we're in a safe spot, we actually don't need any protection in our shield slot from Dragonfire. But if we look at our inventory, that's also going to be pretty straightforward, honestly. Since I'm going with range, I'm going to have a Divine Ranging Potion. Next to it, I'll have an extended anti-fire. But on the real, since we're going to be in a safe spot, we don't need any sort of anti-fire potions either. I personally know I'm going to take a hit probably at some point. I just want to be somewhat protected from the Dragonfire if it does hit me. That's also why I'm going to have 2 lobsters with me, just in case I take a little bit of damage. I'm also going to have a rune pouch with some high alch runes in it. And because Falador is so close to the Taverley dungeon, I'm just going to have a lot of Falador teleports because we're going to bank a lot during this quest. Beyond that, there's actually 2 more items I want to go over. If your agility level is between 65 and 69, you definitely want to bring a summer pie with you. I'll show it in just a little bit, but it's to go through an agility shortcut that'll speed up getting to the dragons drastically. Now if you don't have at least level 65 agility, you're going to need a dusty key. If you've completed Legends Quest, you can buy the key from the store at the top of the guild. If you haven't done that yet though, then we'll actually go inside the dungeon to see where else we can get the key. So let's talk about how to get there. So like I said, I am going to have a Falador teleport to help us get there. The teleport will put us right here, we can run down, hop over the agility shortcut, and the dungeon will be right here. So once we go down the dungeon, this is where it gets a little bit complicated and we have to talk about some stuff. So as long as you have 70 agility, as soon as you enter the dungeon, you can take a shortcut which will lead you right inside the blue dragon area. This is why I said you should bring a summer pie if you have 65 agility. Alternatively, you can use a shortcut right here which will take you to the Slayer only blue dragons as well, but that also requires level 70 agility. So, if you're not able to boost agility for the shortcut, we're going to have to make a long run all the way through this dungeon and eventually make our way to a gate that we can go through. But to get through that gate, you need the dusty key. So to actually get the dusty key, you have to go down a little bit further into the dungeon. Once you make it inside the Black Knight's base, you actually have to go around this area to get inside of a jail cell. There's a man named Velrak the Explorer that will give you a key if you can free him from his jail cell. And if you want to free him, there's a jailer outside, you kill him, get the jail key, and then you can go inside and get the dusty key. There's also a dusty key that spawns right here, but if you can get to that point, you won't actually need one. Okay, so we're down inside the dungeon with the blue dragons. I'm going to take some time and go over all the safe spots now. There's one right here, which you can tag any of the ones up here and run down. If you're looking to kill the baby dragons down south, then there's a safe spot right here that you can kind of tag them and drag them over. If we're on the north side of the room, all these tiles right here can be used to safe spot the dragons on this side of the dungeon. We can actually also go up the stairs to the Slayer only section right here. Actually, if you stand right here, just right when you walk up, this is a safe spot for dragging them over. And finally, we have our last spot in the southern room of the blue dragons. It's right here, you can tag either of the dragons on each side of the pillar. Alright, that's going to finally do it for the setup, so if you want to see any of the statistics, the supply cost, the loot drops, stick around until after the montage and we'll go over all that good stuff. That is going to wrap up the Blue Dragon task. Took us an hour and 13 minutes, which is a little bit over my hour standard for tasks, but that's alright. Experience-wise, nothing too crazy. A little below average, if anything, honestly. But if we look at our profit, we ended up making 553k from the drops I picked up. Of course, this is only gross income. If we want to see our net profit, we have to subtract our supply cost. So after we extract the 43k I used in supplies, we end up with 510k for just a little over an hour. I wasn't planning on using stamina potions during this task, but I noticed my run energy was kind of getting low on some of the trips back to the bank. But that is going to do it for this one, guys. If you ended up enjoying the video, a like on it really goes a long way to help out the channel. I would immensely appreciate it on top of that. I hope you all have a very wonderful day, and I will see you in the next one.